Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the 3-day CFE exam and what to do right before and also after each day of the final exam. So, if you've got to this point, just want to say congrats because you're almost there. Just 3 more days. Just essentially hang in there and it'll be okay. If you like what you see, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you like the channel in general, please subscribe. I'll try to make some non-CPA study material related videos as I look to make more videos on personal finance. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you subscribe so you get the latest videos and notifications as well. Let me know in the comments below if this video also helped you or if you're planning to follow it. Also, for those that have finished their final exam, let me know how it went. How did it go for you? Okay, so it's basically the day before your exam. What you want to do is make sure that you have all the logistical things intact. So that means your government issued ID, any pens, pencils, highlighters, snacks, water bottles, and the sorts. I'd say some key things to remember is to bring snacks, especially for me. I was always hungry throughout my exam, so I made sure I had some snacks, I had some water with me. You'd also want a wired mouse. If you plan to use a mouse during the exam, it's easier using a wired mouse than the mouse on the laptop. Other things I'd say that you want to make sure that you know is you know the location, you know how to get there, and also you know the time of the actual exam. You don't want to get there and you're late, or you don't want to get to the wrong place, or not find parking at all. So I'd always encourage people to go early, make sure they kind of know where to park, they know how to get in the exam center, and they also know the overall area of it so that they know where to sit. Another good tip is to layer your outfit, which means you might want to wear layers because depending on where you're going to write, it might be really cold or it might be really hot. So you want to wear something where if it's too cold, you'll just put more layers on. And if it's pretty hot, then you're just going to take some layers off. Other key tips would be that you don't want to bring anything extra that you think that you might lose because, again, these exam centers could be really big. So you don't want to put your things off to the side somewhere and then not be able to find it and then have to stress over finding your belongings after the exam, especially when there's going to be multiple days of this exam. In addition, I'd also say be mindful of traffic. It's going to be a weekday, right? If there's going to be traffic, make sure you take that into account. I know when I wrote it, I made sure to drive there really early. I kind of waited there in the parking lot, kind of listened to my classical music, and that's the pro tip. I'm not a medical doctor or anything, but from what I've heard, classical music could boost your intelligence for a little bit. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I listened to classical music right before I wrote all my exams and I passed. So maybe it works. But, anyways, get there early, sit in the parking lot if you have to, or just sit off to the side with some notes maybe to pass the time, or with your phone to read off of to pass the time. And then when it's ready, walk into the exam center, be calm, be cool, be collective, and then start writing that day one. Okay, good job. You've made it through day one, and now we're preparing for day two. So, what I'd say at this point is number one, avoid comparing how you did on the exam for day one to all of your other friends. And, you would avoid kind of the various chat rooms just to see how people answer questions or whatnot, because that just distracts you from essentially day two and day three. So, I would say don't even look at your phone, don't ask your friends how it went. I know for myself, I just didn't even go on social media. I didn't talk to anyone, and I just focused on studying again. The next thing I would say is prioritize recovery. So recovering from essentially day one and kind of getting ready for day two. So what I'd say is make sure that you have light, balanced meals, essentially avoiding any foods that will upset you for your day two or your day three. Kind of relax yourself. Make sure that you shower, do some nice relaxing activities, maybe yoga or meditation, something that kind of helps you unwind a little bit. Realistically, you will still have some time after your day one for some brief studying before you go into day two. Because after you write your exam, you'll probably come home, you'll get some food, and then you'll have a couple hours before dinner, and then let's say you sleep, and then day two. So I'd say in those couple hours that you have, I would prepare for some light technical reading. I would prepare in advance on the chapters or the topics that you want to read about so that you're not, picking and choosing on the day of. And also you want to be reasonable with yourself, how much you can actually read through within that time that you're given. So you don't want to stress yourself out trying to read through like 20 chapters in like 3 hours or in 2 hours. So I'd say plan your day out, just do enough. And then once you've hit that mark and you're like, yep, I want to only review these 2, 3 topics, I've done that. And then just enjoy the rest of the night. Don't stress yourself out and then get a good night's sleep. So after your day 2, we're really in the final stretch now. Now's the time to kind of let loose a little bit as you've had 2 out of the 3 days done. So what I'd say is treat yourself. Think of your favorite food that won't upset your stomach, go get it and eat it, right? Like that's how I would reward myself. Don't worry about your calories. Don't worry about how healthy it is or whatnot. Whatever is your comfort food, whatever is going to relax you, whatever is a treat, go get that and just reward yourself for that day. You also want to make sure you review some technical before you get a good night's sleep again. When reviewing, you want to also think about some cases that you had a hard time with time management. Think of those cases, look at how you actually either managed time well or did not manage time well, and how you would kind of plan around that to help you with the next case. Because with day threes, it's a lot of time management. The cases are going to be quick, they're going to be short, and if you fall behind on one case, it's really hard to pick yourself up for the next few ones. And lastly, we're just going to stick to your routine. So at this point, you already know what's going to happen. You're going to wake up tomorrow, you're going to go to the exam center, and you're going to crush that exam. You're in the final stretch. You are a CPA. You just need to prove it to people on paper. So do your best and write as well as you can and just ace that final exam. At this point, there's not much to say. After your day 3, you're pretty much done, right? There's no more debrief after this. There's no more studying after this. You can go out and celebrate, reconnect with your family, your friends, tell them that you're still alive, and just relax. Essentially, do anything you want besides studying. This has probably been one of the most stressful time periods of your life so far. So take some time, relax, unwind, and let it all sink in. However, a tip that I would leave with you is maybe jot down a couple notes on your thoughts of the actual exam, maybe what was tested on it, just in case, in the very unlikely scenario that you'll need to rewrite your exam, at least you'll have something to go back to. A great place to write all this is actually in the comments below. So if you ever wanted to know, you could always come back and look at your comment. But on a more serious note, it's also good, even if you don't have to rewrite your exam, because you could leave these for someone else that needs it as well. Just some other general tips is also have the CPA mindset. And that's not what you learned in those workshop modules that CPA provided. What I'm talking about is know that you are a CPA. Bring that confidence into each day of your exam, write like you belong, and the first day is graded independently of day 2 and day 3. So don't worry about how you did on day 1, because you could pass day 1 or fail day 1 independently of day 2 and day 3. I've kind of went over this tip already, but it's essentially avoiding all the chat groups, avoiding your friends talking about the exam, because at the end of the day, everyone's just speculating. No one really knows the right answer. So don't give yourself that extra stress. The last tip is essentially prioritize your rest over studying. At this point, you know what you know, and there's no magical note that you can read and then suddenly you're going to ace the exam. So just prioritize your mindset and take it one day at a time. Thanks again for watching, and if you like what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel. I'll try to have some content on personal finance if that's something that you also like. It would also be great if you could leave a comment below on how the whole exam process is. Even though we can't go into details of what was actually tested, it'd be great to share your experience with everyone else. For all those who are still taking their final exam, good luck, and for all those that have already finished, congrats.